right, all right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Linda G. Robert. I'm your Back in the Groove Again coach, here to help you live your best life now and to make your travel dreams a reality. I'm a travel coach specializing in helping busy professional women nearing burnout. I assist them in regaining work-life balance. And one of the key ways I do this is by suggesting a vacation that focuses on self-care and life transformation. But today I'm meeting with Danielle Hirschi, who does similar work, but differently. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Danielle here. So Danielle P. Hirschi was born in 1967 and is a Swiss citizen. He has a diverse professional background as a gardener, permaculture designer, an all-finance consultant, and a small business owner, and we will talk more about that in just a few minutes. Since 2005, he has been living in Transylvania, Romania. However, in 2018, Danielle faced a near-fatal heart attack caused by a stressful lifestyle, poor eating habits, and insufficient exercise. And of course, this critical incident led to a complete overhaul of his life. He lost 25 kilograms, incorporated regular exercising, including walking and meditation, and switched to a keto diet. Drawing from his transformative experience, Dan now coaches others, helping them redefine success and reconnect with nature. They can live happier and freer and more fulfilling lives. Well, welcome, Dan. Nice to meet you, or nice to see you again, I should say.
Yeah, welcome, Linda. Thanks very much for having me in your show. Thank you.
Yes, it's not a problem. I'm really looking forward to catching up on what we've talked about the last time. But I want to start first with the heart attack, or the near fatal heart attack. What happened?
Actually, it was a absolutely normal day, not even very stressful. We get in bed, and 2 o'clock in the morning I waked up and felt a little bit tired and dizzy, and yeah, and then the usual, what everybody is describing, the pain in the chest and the pain in the left arm.
Right.
And that was exactly what happened to me. And I don't know why, because I have nobody in the family ever experienced that, but instantly I knew what we are talking about. I waked up my wife and she did everything perfectly, and 50 minutes later I was already in the ER, operated, and
wow.
And the doctor said, yes, you would have at most another half an hour, because it was the main blood vessel who was completely blocked, and that gives you usually around an hour. So it is critical.
Wow. Now I know.
And very interesting is the fact that this evening, usually the emergency here in the next big hospital, they have around 4 to 6 heart attacks. That is business as usual, every day.
Okay.
And this night, this special night, they had 13.
Oh, wow. Oh, 13.
Nobody knows why. It must be a very special stellar constellation or whatever. And yeah, I was the lucky one.
So were you lucky number 13?
No, I don't know which one I was in the register for the entrance. No, I don't know.
Right. So I know that most men would probably deny what's happening. You know, I'm fine, don't worry about it, I'll get over it. But did you at first go, yeah, I'll be fine, don't worry about, like, how did you know? Or maybe it's your wife that said, no, let's go to the hospital. So what?
No, you know, it would be quite stupid to ignore this kind
Absolutely.
of sign from nature. I call it
Yes.
nature, universe. If you are a believer, you call it God, whatever. But it's a sign,
Yes.
definitely. And
Yes.
when you ignore it and live your life as before, then this would be already be called stupid. Sorry,
Well,
but
it's no, but yeah,
you
absolutely.
have to understand that now is the moment for change.
Yes.
And yes, I understood, and my life changed quite
So,
drastically
so
since.
did it change right after? You know, because usually when something like this happens, people do change right away or fairly quickly, but they don't maintain it most of the time.
Mhm.
So what happened in your case?
It was an immediate change after rehabilitation, because you have to the first month after this kind of operation, surgery, you are not able to do a lot of work. You are not able to move around as before.
Right.
It was really a quiet time, and I used this time to really thought about my
Yes.
life, my
Yes.
future, the future of my marriage and everything,
Right.
because it's yeah, we had or we still have together a company
Of course.
uh, to lead and to conduct. So it was not only my decision how we go further.
Right.
And it made me think, and the weight loss came with my study what was the cause of my heart attack,
Oh,
because doctors are not very interested in cause. They
right.
want,
You're right.
unfortunately, and I made that experience myself. I left the hospital with a list of 14 drugs, and the doctor said to me, okay, take these 14 drugs, we will see each other in a year. I looked at him and, what? That you can't be serious.
Right.
You're kidding, right?
Right.
So yeah,
Oh,
it was no discussion whatsoever. I knew from that point on I have to do my own research, which I did, and in my case, it was the overweight, my, the belly fat, to be specific, led to insulin resistance, which raised my blood pressure in a constant and the dangerous manner. And that was actually the case, and the number one reason for the attack,
yes.
finally.
Yes. Hmm.
So weight loss is not a thing from today to tomorrow.
No,
It
it's a
takes time.
process, right? Yes,
It's a
absolutely.
process. It takes time. It starts in the head, and then you have to do your work. And so it was. I would say it was a matter of 6 to 12 months
Yeah.
in which that change really came to life.
Yes. Yes. So, what did you change? What were some of the
Um,
changes? I know I read it in your bio, but we'd love to hear more about what
yes,
you.
I changed my approach to eating. I was always a stress eater. I eat it the most when I was completely stressed out, uh, especially also the sugary things. I am
Right.
the sweet one in the family, so so I had to reduce drastically my love for chocolate and all the nice cakes. And yes,
And you're from
I'm
Switzerland,
still
right?
struggling with that,
Okay. Okay. I was going to say that.
because
That's
as a Swiss, I'm cliche totally, but I'm completely a chocolate addict.
and you
Yeah,
admit it. And you admit it.
I admit it, yes. And that's the biggest work I still have to do. But I could reduce to a healthy minimum, let's say, and Then the weight loss, regular eating, no more eating and no more alcohol, glass of wine after 8 o'clock. That reduced already a lot of the calories you don't need. And intermittent fasting. I eat most of the time only twice, sometimes even only one meal a day. So that is, it's achievable. It's healthy.
Yes.
I see it. The weight loss was quite easy, not easy in the sense of you don't have to do nothing, but it's as everything, it's a matter of habits. It's
right. Now, most people, well, most doctors, I guess, and what we hear is that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's what they say, and I don't know if you think that same way, but you said one meal a day. So I'm curious, which meal is it, or is it? Does it depend on the day? You might have breakfast or
no, it's actually dinner.
Ah.
Yes, the breakfast myth is one of the biggest lies we are fighting in our society, because it is actually Mr. Kellogg who had the money and the influence to convince everybody that breakfast, aka his cereals,
right,
are the most important meal of the day. It's not true. It's not necessary. Most of the natural tribes, which are still existing in the Amazonian or the Inuit in Alaska, they usually not really eat breakfast, and if so, they eat a very fatty breakfast.
right.
Nobody talks about cereals.
I know. Interesting. Now, I know I want to lead into your business now. You told me the last time you live on a farm in Transylvania.
Yes.
But it's more than that, though, isn't it?
It's a very little farm. It's most, especially from Canada or the States, they would consider it a hobby farm because the surface is quite small. But that was exactly the challenge I wanted to prove with, because everybody thinks that for growing your food, you have to have huge surfaces, which is actually not true. You can have a very compact system if it is very well thought through and very well placed. Then you can have on very, very small surfaces huge amounts of legumes and vegetables and fruits. Even it's amazing.
Now, I know that I don't have a lot of a space right now for a garden, but I heard about these vertical gardens. Is this something that you have? Do you have still, land where you actually plant things in the land, or do you grow them upward?
We have a little bit of land. Yeah, it's around 1 hectare. That is about 4 acres. I think around. And yes, we have vertical farming also, which means we try to use also the walls of our houses and guest houses as a surface for raising, for example, kiwi or grapes or other legumes who are growing vertically. So yes, we try to use every square centimeter as good as possible.
Now, when did you get into the coaching aspect of your business?
The coaching aspect started actually a little bit before my heart attack. It was afterwards. I wanted to make that my new. It was a passion. I felt it. I had time to think about it, and it was what I really love to do. But actually, I learned from our visitors and from our holiday guests we have on our farm, because obviously they are here, let's say a week or even 2 or longer, and they see us work. They see how we eat, they see how we prepare, how we handle our fruits and our food. And you are obviously and immediately in the discussion, yeah, what is healthy food?
Of course, yes.
Of course, it's a natural thing to talk about. And in these discussions, I observed more and more how far away the people are from the natural, logical connectedness. And it was horrible to see. We had really guests here on our farm. They couldn't tell, is this a vegetable or what kind of vegetable is this? They never saw it. They had no idea how and where it grows. And it was very, very interesting to see this kind of problems appearing. And I wanted to help. I saw that as my niche to close the gap.
Right. And that's what coaches do. And I imagine that if people live in the city, and I don't know who you targeted, but if people live in the city and are busy, then they just may be grabbing something at the corner store or the grocery store, or on the run with fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering, and this I don't know, that's why I'm going to ask, do people go to your farm to change lifestyles, or is it for a holiday? Why do people visit you at your B&B?
It is actually different. There are people who find us and they want to make holidays on a little farm, being in nature, surrounded with some chickens and dogs and cats and whatever.
Sounds wonderful.
And that is totally okay for us. But there are also people who find us who read my articles on Medium, on Substack, and they even are subscribers on my newsletter, for example, and they learn that okay, I have now some sleep problems. That is usually the point where people start to think about their health.
Right.
They have problems to sleep, they don't sleep well, they are in a constant fatigue, and that is the point where they are searching for solutions. And
that's right.
Sometimes they find me. And then it's my honor and my work to see what is happening in the life of this specific person. And the food is usually on the top 3 list, which is not okay, which is, or eat it way too fast, way too unregular, unhealthy. I'm not the one who says you should never ever in your life eat a Big Mac.
Right.
No. But there are people on this planet who eat 3 times a day a Big Mac, and that is definitely not healthy.
Right.
We have enough research about that. That's definitely not healthy.
That's right.
So and speaking about the food, then I start to reconnect them a little bit more with the natural roots and then with nature, making a plan with them to exercise a little bit more, maybe including a 10-minute walk a day somewhere in a park nearby, whatever is possible to improve this fatigue and this sleeplessness.
Right. Yeah. You know, the other day I was thinking that, you know, a lot of busy professional women who might be experiencing some problems with sleep as a result of stress, in this case, may just decide to wake up the next day and then go to work and then continue the same pattern time and time and time again. And then next thing you know, either they're going through a burnout or, you know, maybe even a heart attack. And if they would only acknowledge that they're not feeling well and get help from, you know, someone like you or someone like me in this case too, what difference do you think it would make if they realize sooner than later that they need to change their lifestyle?
I'm the best proof that some little lifestyle changes have a huge impact.
That's right.
It has a huge impact in a very short time, but also about longevity. It is proven that it can impact longevity in quite drastically.
Right.
So food is usually the number one concern we are talking and starting with, but there are obviously also other things like authenticity. So many people live with a constant mask. We know all the expression that the people pleaser.
Yes.
That is horrible. If you imagine you cannot be yourself
Right.
for years. Some people are not themselves for years.
Yes. Yes.
They cannot express themselves like they would love to, and these are the little steps we have to go. We have to find them first of all. What are the
Absolutely.
real stress makers in your life?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very interesting, and it's a process.
It's a process, you're right, you know, because it starts with an awareness, I think, but it also starts with making a decision, like choosing to,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
choosing to,
Without
right?
your will, we cannot change anything. That
That's
is clear for start. Yes.
right. Now I'm wondering if people have, what is the name of your business again, please?
The name of the business is Sana Terra Farm.
Right, I love that name.
Sana is Latin for health.
Oh,
Terra is also Latin for soil or the earth as
right,
a whole, and
right.
farm is self-speaking. Yes.
That's right. That's right. So I'm thinking, I'm just, you know, thinking out loud here that let's say somebody goes to your place for a holiday, and of course they will ask you questions about the food. And would they come back again with another intention in mind, come back to make a lifestyle change, or does it
We
kind of
have,
happen?
yeah, I'm quite proud to say we have regulars who were already 4 or 5 times here. So it seems to have an impact. It seems they see results.
That's wonderful.
It's the little steps, you know. I don't like the gurus and the
Mhm.
super whatever life coaches who promise you completely life change in 30 days.
Right. No.
I don't believe that. Sorry, it's a process. It needs time. You have to convince yourself that you need this,
That's
and
right.
you have to see with little results, I'm on the right path.
That's
And
right.
seeing that, you go further and further and further. And
Right.
I even had a holiday guest who started with me this kind of journey with little steps. He has today his own house and a huge garden. That is for me the biggest honor. That I have done my job perfectly.
Right. Yes, especially when they return home, they follow
Yes.
up. You know, they've included some of those healthy
Yeah.
habits in their lifestyle, and you know it's because of the impact you've made in
Yeah.
their lives.
It is
Yeah.
quite an honor. Yes.
Yeah.
He is almost self-sustainable. See, He has everything in his garden which the family needs, and it's beautiful to see. Yeah.
When you say self-sustainable, tell me more what you mean by that, please.
Self-sustainable is often words it's a little bit misunderstanding.
Yes, please.
Because people think that you have to have everything. But first of all, it starts with the climate. You, where you are, you will not be able to grow the same things like I have in my garden.
You're
because
right.
I'm in a completely different climate zone. So that depends already.
Yeah.
So you have to make a plan very specific for your region.
Right.
And then self-sustainability doesn't mean, in my opinion, you have to have everything what you eat. No, because there will be regions where you can't grow rice, for example.
Right.
You won't have rice in your or you will miss it from now on the rest of your life, or you find a way to produce something else in your garden a little bit more than you need, and you start to barter with your neighbors, with others, with friends, or even sell on a farmer's market. So you should be able to make some cash to buy your rice, which you are not able to grow yourself. That is, for me, self-sustainability.
Thank you. Now, I need to ask more about Transylvania, if you don't mind. Please,
Yes, please.
How did you end up in Transylvania? If you don't mind.
It's the famous coincidence, you know? I was invited in Switzerland many years ago, to be exact, 20 years ago. I was invited to help in a humanitarian project, and we made a little holiday here in Transylvania. And we had a lot of meetings, and obviously we were accommodated in a hotel. And the coincidence was that my now wife was at that time Mrs. Director of this hotel. So we met, we fell in love. She told me at the second date that she will never come with me in Switzerland. It was quite surprising because everybody wants to go to Switzerland. Of course. And no, she was completely convinced that her life is here. She lived already in younger years for 4 years in Germany. She didn't like it. Germany and Switzerland is not that different, so she knew how would be life in Western Europe. So we decided, okay, if you don't come, I will pack my stuff and.
That's love. That's love.
Yeah, that's love. That yeah, completely crazy. Right. You can imagine I was the black sheep in the family, and I still am, and yeah.
So, because people have only heard about the Draculas, excuse me, that's, you know, the first time I met you, I said, well, that's the only thing I could think about Transylvania. Yeah, and if people are going to visit you at your farm, at your, you know, lovely farm, what do we need to know about Transylvania?
Okay, Transylvania is one part of Romania. It's actually quite in the middle of Romania. It is that part which was in many years ago, it was also part of the Austrian-Hungarian kingdom. So a lot of people are speaking also Hungarian in this region. We are speaking Romanian and Hungarian. There is even still existing a German-speaking community in Transylvania, because history shows that with the Germans emigrating to Transylvania, the history started actually in this part of Eastern Europe. Our neighbors are Ukraine, Hungary, Serbia, and in the south, Bulgaria. And it's a very interesting climate. We have in Transylvania during the summer month we have easily above 30 degrees Celsius. And in the winter, we have easily minus 15.
Okay.
So it's quite a big gap.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the vegetation is very lush. We are surrounded with forests. We have the only still existing community, how you say that, the last European bears, the brown bears. We have around 3,000 bears in Transylvania.
Wow. That's a lot of bears.
Yeah, that's a lot of bears. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm walking with my dogs, I even see them. So we're not friends and close, not yet, but with the needed respect, we meet each other.
Right. So someone would go and experience nature for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
obviously, because I'm walking here in the zone and regularly, daily, with the dogs, without the dogs, I know the zone very well. My guests are always invited to join me for the walks. I even can adapt for people who are not able to walk for hours, obviously. I have different rounds and zones where we can go. And Transylvania as a whole, in around our farm, let's say what you can reach in a 1 hour drive with the car, we have at least 20 super nice things to visit, from castles to salt mines to really, really interesting stuff, which are quite unique in Europe.
Right. So people could actually go on a holiday, experience a change of some sort.
Yes.
And I know I'm mindful of our time. What would they leave with? What would they leave your experience with?
If you are speaking strict for holiday guests, they leave usually our place with the awareness of what would be a healthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of personality, how much of the new knowledge they are implying in their lives, of course. But we have usually also guests who are leaving us, but maybe a month afterwards, I get a phone call and, Daniel, please, let's start your coaching, because I thought about that and I have to change my life.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's great.
That is obviously a big pleasure to.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then we have the other way around, people who are coached for several months by me, and then they want to experience the farm life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a perfect combination, I think, too. Right. Experiencing it and then coming back and continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our accommodation is very simple, very rustic, like farm, but it's a pleasure to be here, and everybody is talking about the good energy which you can feel here in our garden. And obviously we don't use any chemicals for 20 years, so how can that be toxic?
That's right.
Cannot.
Yeah, everything's organic. Now we have just a minute or so left. Could you tell us how we can get a hold of you, how we can get more information about your farm and your services?
To reach me is via LinkedIn. You're searching for Daniel Hirschi. You will find me, or you are searching also on LinkedIn for Sana Terra Farm, or with the same name, sanaterrafarm.ro for Romania. So you find our website and further informations to reach me.
Perfect. And we will add, of course, the link to that. Thank you so much. We found out a lot about you today.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure with you, and I love your coaching approach with the traveling, and it's the perfect combination.
It is. Thank you again, and we will more than likely have another conversation at some point for sure.
We are inviting you to be our guest at any time.
I'd love that.
Yes,
I do
make it happen, please.
Thank you again.